Yo! Almost didn't look at the camera there. I always forget. It's your boy and other boy. And this is the Snoozecast. Thank you for... Did you just say we out?
We out. That's it. That's the end of the podcast right there.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, and all that good stuff.
I got confused with the intro and the outro. I was just...
Yeah. You were listening to the Snoozecast this entire time. We done.
What's up, yo boys? We back. We out.
We out. We out of here. We're one hit it, quit it. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to the 42nd episode, I think. I believe it's 42. Well, overall, wow. This is, we're almost at that 50 mark, and it'll be pretty surreal when we eventually climb to the 100 area, because that means...
100 is a big mark. 50 is a pretty big mark, too.
Yeah, 50 definitely means, like, I don't know, there's, like, I guess some type of weird... like theory of like you have to do something a certain number of times before it becomes like a habit or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know the number, but
I think it's like it's based on a number of hours that you do something habitually, right? Or in order to turn something into a habit. Usually it's hours or like by a day thing. So if you do the same thing every day for 30 days, it becomes habit. Or if you do
like eat DoorDash.
I think it takes either 1 month or 2 months. I can't remember of consistent. So around 30 to 60 times. And the hours thing, I actually I misremembered that. It's mastery. So it's 10,000 hours to master something. I think to consider yourself a master.
If you ask me, I mean, little squirrel brain like myself, you know. I can't keep track of that stuff. So, again, new episode and another installment of the video. So if you have not already, if you are listening onto your audio platform, do us a huge favor to help us out and hop over to YouTube and go to the Snoozecast. Snoozecast is one word. And go ahead and subscribe. And, you know, if you haven't caught up to any of our episodes, the video versions are there for episode 40 and 41, and yeah, those are up. So if you want to give those a watch, if you haven't seen them already, and also if you liked if you like what you heard, then give it a like as well. So we're just trying to do what we can to help that channel get boosted and all that good stuff, and we want to do it right. We want to do it. We want to grow.
Gotta boost the algorithms.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as audio goes, we've always been pretty decent. So I appreciate you guys listening. Mostly, it looks like it's mostly Apple Podcasts, so that's interesting.
Before it was
a bunch of filthy Apple users.
Before it was what was it? Before was it Podbean or was it a different one? Before?
Oh no, it's so Podbean is the platform that we use to we put the podcast there, and there's many other sites like Podbean. Basically,
right.
you give them your feed, and then they just post it to
and they distribute it. Got it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and but you still have what's weird though is you still have to go to Spotify, and you have to go to Apple Podcasts and provide them the link that Podbean gives you. So
right.
And then from that point, when you post an episode on your platform, then from there it automatically goes out to the other ones. Occasionally, Spotify has missed a few episodes, like my episode with my girlfriend Susie. I never figured out why it didn't go to Spotify. And then, too much time passed between, I think we're reviewing the movie Enola Holmes, which is actually a very good movie. It's flew under the radar because Millie Bobby Brown is big in Stranger Things, and she had her movie come out a little bit before that, Godzilla King of Monsters, the previous year. So I think a little time had passed, and Enola Holmes came out, and I think it flew her under the radar a little bit. But very good movie, very very underrated.
Okay.
And anyway, how was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend, sir?
Pretty boring.
Yeah. Well, do you want to? I do have. What did you think of the videos that I sent with? Actually, I don't think we've had an episode since your car stuff. So do you want to let the people in on just the sad Audi?
Oh,
the Saudi?
The car. So it doesn't start anymore. Which it was really interesting timing because when I left my job and I left school, like the day that I came home, and it was like my last day. The next day after, I was like, oh, I want to go to McDonald's, and I turned on the car and it just wouldn't start.
Oof.
Like the day after, all after leaving that, I was like, well, looks like I'm stuck. And it hasn't worked since then. I've tried to fiddle with it a little bit since then. I think that was back. That was 3 weeks ago now.
Wow.
Since it, first decided to take a poop, and I just haven't had the reason really to look at it. And really, at this point, I need all of my tools, which are in storage right now. So I'm stuck without a car for a little bit. But
don't worry, I definitely can relate.
I don't really need a car right now. It's not too big of a deal. Staying at home for the most part. And Garber's pretty good about letting me borrow the Blazer to go to the store when I need to, which is actually what I got to do tomorrow. Is I got to go to the store.
Gotcha.
And get some groceries.
Is his Saab still alive?
No.
Oh no, not at all.
It starts and it runs. It just doesn't drive. We don't really know what's going on with it. Neither of us really have
the time or care to.
Not really the time or care. It's just it's a few different things. It's we haven't really fully settled into the house. The garage is still needs some organization. And really, for me, the main project the project car to work on is the Honda.
Fair enough.
And now
I think it's been a project
Audi.
for a while.
It's been a project for a while, but that one is just the result of, that one's been in limbo just because we've all been working way too much, right? So like working 2 jobs and going to school, all of that, I just wasn't able to put as much effort into it as I wanted to. But now I will be able to, and I'm kind of waiting for the weather to get a little bit better before I get back into that project. So,
yeah, only 3 or so more weeks. I mean, in Idaho, it'll still be
supposed to snow this weekend, so I don't know.
Oh God!
I raked leaves though for the first time. I've been so bored. I have been so bored lately.
Honestly, that's the ultimate sign of boredom when you rake fucking leaves.
In the middle of winter, by the way, not fall. In the middle of winter. Well, I forgot to do them during the fall time, and it's actually been pretty nice weather lately. And I was like, I want to get these out of the grass so that way that when the grass, when springtime does come, the grass actually looks, the yard actually looks nice because we have a sprinkler system at this house, which is nice. And I was like, I gotta
really? Yeah, we don't have you don't have to like randomly kind of.
We don't have to have a hose.
Yeah, you don't have to like get a sprinkler set up and then like forget that it's on all day, or
no, we don't need.
Don't have it on for other days.
Got an automatic one, pop-up ones too. So. Fucking great. Legit. Fucking great.
Dude, those suck to walk on so growing up, most houses I got this. So growing up in the southern Idaho area, I was barefoot kind of, I wouldn't say constantly, but quite a lot. Like definitely when I would be over at my grandparents or mostly anywhere, to be honest. Like, especially if I was at home, I just happened to enjoy walking outside without any shoes. And, my mom and dad always made me, take baths and kind of make sure my feet were clean and everything. So I didn't grow up, because there definitely were kids that didn't wear shoes and would be outside and just had raunchy feet. But, I would say... and it's funny because even at the last house that we lived in, I would occasionally, a lot of the times when I went to go get mail, I would just walk on that fucking stupid loose gravel barefoot. But it didn't really bother me though.
Wow, that driveway was pretty bad too.
Yeah. Like I would. There's definitely some moments where there's like some rocks. I was like, oh. Okay.
I am not a barefoot guy at all. I like to wear shoes as much as
Oh,
possible.
I know, Nathan. Garber and I are aware, especially when we the first I don't know about year, but like the first kind of part of living in that house, didn't you have kind of just a random like foot infection or something?
No,
like,
it was because no. So I used to have really bad. It's fairly comparable to trench foot, but when I worked as a tire tech or
Right,
mechanic,
okay.
or I kind of did both. But back working at the shop, my boots would be soaked all the time because we would work during the winter time and it gets snowy here, and my shoes would always be filled with water, so my feet would start rotting essentially, kind of like trench foot.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So for a while it was pretty bad, but no, that's gone away now though. Thank God.
Dude,
God.
that was rough.
That was so bad. No, like seriously, like I mean, you guys didn't have to fucking live with it, all right? So I don't want to hear
We had to
it.
smell it quite a lot, dude. It was
24/7, and I had to,
that's
clean
surprising.
it. Fucking,
That's true.
it was horrible. And like looking at your foot, that's like basically like melting away. It sucks. But then I got the job
Tasty.
then I got the jobs at school, and that went away really quick. And that, thank God. And now I get to stay at home, and now it's even better.
Have you ever seen the movie Holes? You get sweet feet.
I haven't seen Holes. I just know though. Just by experiencing
He knows the lore.
Just by experiencing the foot, I already know. It sucks. It's seriously so bad. But
yeah.
I'm still even then I'm still a shoe guy, even though now I have the capabilities to take care of my feet more properly, and I'm not in a constantly wet environment.
Wet ass feet.
Wet ass
WAF.
feet. Ah, waff.
Oh man. Yikes. But yeah, you know,
We've just
as
grossed out
far-
like everybody now and gone.
Yeah, everybody who's not a foot person. I think.
I don't even think
people that are foot
I don't even think feet people, dude. They're like,
You
yeah,
don't
let me
think
get
of
some of that trench foot pics.
Yeah, love it. Anyway,
God.
yeah, this definitely could go down a very gross path, but we're not going to do that. Cause
No, I mean we've
care
already
about-
done it. We've already done it. It's not
We
that we could. We
care.
already did.
We care about our audience.
Do we?
Well,
Do we? I think that ship has sailed.
I try. Anyway, okay, so you know, weekend has come and gone. Kind of, I'd say something along the same lines, I guess. And I guess really the only notable thing that happened was the Super Bowl. And me being a big sports fan, you know, I watched it, and normally for the last 2 years. Now, I mean, I've watched it every year since 2006, and that was way back.
I already knew
when-
Tom Brady would win.
Oh yeah, I mean, people knew. I had kind of a sickening feeling, like just knowing, because here's how I wanted it to happen. Because Tom Brady has won 6 Super Bowls, and he goes every other year basically, and it's just, it's kind of like, come on, like I want something new to happen. Now, obviously, me wanting the Chiefs to win instead is kind of sacrilegious, because that is historically the Raiders' biggest rival over the history of their teams.
Yeah.
So obviously sports fans are going to be like, what? Are you kidding me? Even stupid. I mean, man, some Raiders fans are quite special, if you know what I mean. Oh, man.
That was a big one.
Yeah. That was some ramen. Anyway, watched the Super Bowl, and yeah, the game, you know, as people who listen and also watched, it was very boring, and there was, I guess the only thing entertaining about it was the quarterback for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. You know, I mean, Nate, I know you don't watch football, but if you look up Patrick Mahomes' incomplete passes, he literally is running for his life every play. Like, the Buccaneers defense is just after him. And there's even one throw where he's like, it's 4th down, so he's like falling to the ground, and as he's falling, he's able to keep his legs up just a little bit, and there's like a quick moment where he's basically parallel with the ground, like he's in the Matrix, and just flings the ball like 30 yards like, as he's like falling to the ground. And I mean, I can't even throw it that far if I was doing the same thing with a baseball, which is obviously immensely easier to throw than an NFL-sized football.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, and yeah. Yeah, I don't even want to say like, oh, I don't have a bad arm, but I can't do like I couldn't even imagine throwing that. And so pretty funny highlights from that regard. And a lot of people were hating on the halftime show for some reason. I don't know why really, because to me it was a pretty standard, pretty normal halftime show. Like I feel
from
like
what I saw, yeah, it looks pretty normal. Better than the fucking Travis Scott SpongeBob blue
the only
ball moment. That was bad,
dude. And then Adam Scott shows up to take his shirt off. Like, he's like, guys, look at my fucking random assortment of tattoos.
I mean,
this
does
is
it?
Sick.
You can't really beat. Who was it? Was it?
Lady Gaga that
yeah,
fucking
Lady
jumped off
Gaga.
the stadium?
Lady Gaga though.
Dude,
you can't. It doesn't get better than that. That one's fun.
You, me, and Noah. That was the most random. That was the most random like Super Bowl. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's a party because it's just us three. But like that was the most random group. Because Noah's a sports fan, and you're like, I'm just here to have a good time. And then
it was such a random time too. I don't even remember if I was expecting the Super Bowl. I figured it was just like there. Yeah, it just sort of happened.
No, like I definitely remember like in the middle of the week or something. I was like, "Yo, what are you doing on Sunday?" Like, nothing really. And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to watch Super Bowl."
Yeah.
It was very like
right.
off. It was very like I'm not doing anything. So yeah, that one was great though because Lady Gaga's giving this little kind of speech at the end of one of her songs, and then she just fucking woo, and, like, jumps so down.
Good.
Like it was, dude. We were like, we lost our shit.
It was so funny. You can't. It doesn't get better than that,
dude.
But this year's was pretty standard. I've seen the memes of the Weeknd. Was he the headliner?
Yeah, no, and I thought the one thing I was disappointed with is his song that I think is just I don't know about his best, but definitely up there. Like it's a very, very good song called "Save Your Tears." He did like some type of like it didn't quite sound the same. Obviously, live music, like it's different, but it seems like it was just a kind of totally different version of that song. So I was just kind of listening. I'm like, you'd think for his, and also he recently had a music video come out for it, and it was really big everywhere and got a lot of views. So I was figuring, okay, that's gonna be the song, but no, the big finale song was "Blinding Lights," which another great song. Like he's had, like I really enjoy The Weeknd, which I'm not really.
That's one of the few songs I actually like. It's
fucking solid, dude. It's a banger.
I like the music video too. It's all pretty well done.
Yeah, dude,
hats off to the kid.
Especially on my way here to Texas, driving. Like I had like a little speaker. I would like just play
30 hours of Blinding Lights the whole way through.
The fucking cop pulls me over. My mind is perfectly suited for long road trips, especially because I grew up taking short, like 2-hour drives down to Twin Falls to visit family, and then multiple trips throughout my childhood going to New Mexico, which is, we would stop in the middle, but like we'd go to New Mexico, and that's like 17, 18 hours roughly of a drive in total. So, even when I'm the driver, I have like a way to kind of go into autopilot because there's not really anyone around you. There's not really anything happening.
Yeah.
So you kind of like you see what's in front of you, but your mind is definitely like do.
Yeah.
And like
a little out of there. Yeah.
Dude, I had music going and all kinds of stuff and a podcast and.
How long was the drive?
I think technically, like, if I went without stopping, it'd be like 23 hours, I believe. Shit. Well, there's two different routes. There's one route that you go through Utah, and it's a much flatter route. And the one I went to is through Colorado because there was a midpoint where in Colorado Springs, I had some friends like I could stay with overnight. And So it was quite it was like directly in the middle between the two, so it was perfect.
Yeah,
So I go
easy. Don't have to buy a hotel in between. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And now, fortunately, I was in.
Plus, you get to go through Colorado. That's a pretty state.
Oh yeah, very much so. Especially the northern bit. There's definitely the armpit. The armpit of Colorado is, it's an armpit, all right. And I'm glad I was about Colorado though. I'm glad I was in the Saab because it's a very, it's like a small car. You can get around tight corners, and you don't really have to. And doing a bunch of loops and fucking twists and turns during those mountains.
Yeah,
dude,
that's fun.
It was fun there, but I was thinking like, there's no fucking way Susie's gonna be going through U-Haul here. Like I was telling her, and I know she's perfectly smart enough to come to that conclusion on her own, but I was just like, yeah, I went that way, and you're not going that way because it's gonna be a U-Haul, and
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I drove.
Like
I drove a 40-foot.
It's fine, but like I'm just like.
I drove a 40-foot motorhome from Boise to McCall on that windy road. Have you ever been on that one?
Yeah.
40-foot motorhome on that. I've been able to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, it's definitely difficult and it's sketchy.
Right. Yeah. I guess
it's not the optimal route.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is no place to die. And I'm sure. I'm sure she'd make it okay, but I'm just gonna be all like
worried.
No, not allowed. I'm worried. I'm too worried.
Yeah.
And let's see. So yeah, Super Bowl, pretty boring. Not really. I mean, the commercials kind of each year have been getting less and less. One thing I will say about the Super Bowl, the pregame each year, it keeps getting like drawn out. Like there's this. This year the NFL has, finally gotten to a point where it can't ignore issues of systemic racism and issues that the players have brought up,
right?
Well before this year, like Colin Kaepernick, kind of is the first guy to, just talk about issues of police brutality, and all these boomers are like, oh, you're disrespecting the military and the flag. It's like, oh, what's funny is a former member of the military is the one that recommended taking a knee, but that's a whole nother can of worms. But anyway, the NFL is at this point finally, we need to step in, and to them it's very marketable, and it's very much a PR kind of. I don't want to say stunt because they've been doing it this entire year, but it's definitely they're definitely calculated with it.
Yeah,
and because to them
it's marketing.
So much money. Yeah, I mean, there's so much money on the line, and of course, it's all optics, and the intro of the game, they're doing all these speeches and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm at a point where I just want to watch the game. I just want to watch the football game. So I want to just eat my gosh dang stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. Ate the entire thing.
I love the stuffed crust, man. It's good.
Those are dangerously addicting. I mean, I've eaten a few of those recently.
I just don't like thin crust pizza. I love the stuffed crust, and if they had the stuffed crust in the pan, the deep pan pizza, I would be hooked. But they only have it on the deal, at least, with the thin pizza, and I fucking cannot stand the thin pizza at Pizza Hut.
It's a thinner crust for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like they're thin, because their thin crust is it's a very crispy
it's like a fucking cracker.
Yeah, which I like. I actually like most thin crust, especially if you cut them into squares. I really enjoy those because I think my favorite combination with that would be a chicken bacon ranch one. I don't know why that, for some reason.
I haven't had one of those type of pizzas in a while. Maybe I should order that for tonight. Fuck,
dude, it's pretty good. I'd say the best version of that would be from Idaho Pizza. So they have
Idaho
buffalo
pizza is so good,
dude. Fuck, I want to get. There's so many things from Idaho that I'm gonna be
they
getting
deliver?
that I'm like that I miss. Yeah, no, totally. I don't know if they deliver to where you live exactly.
I don't know if I have one near me. Fuck.
But yeah, Idaho Pizza. They have this buffalo chicken and bacon ranch one, and it's solid. They have like a lot of like nice little chicken bites, but it's like a lot of chicken bites. So and it's covers the entire pizza, and it's that good old ranch and cheese and bacon bits, and it is solid for sure. And you get that tiny little kick from that buffalo, that spicy buffalo chicken. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a kick, but it adds some nice flavor.
When you come to Idaho, we should go to Buffalo Wild Wings. That's what we need to do. Come on, wings.
I like B-dubs, but like those are everywhere. Like if I'm gonna be going places like food wise,
that's true.
It's definitely it's got to be places that
Los
are
Betos
like,
then.
Yeah, Beto's for sure.
Betos.
That's confirmed. I'm gonna be going to Mongolian barbecue. I think there's a Mongolian barbecue here, but like, I don't know if it operates the same. But I'm gonna be getting that with Susie, and then Idaho Pizza might be something.
Idaho Pizza would be good. They have what I really like about them.
That's definitely not here.
Yeah, what I really like about Idaho Pizza Company is they have that lunch buffet for like $8 or something, and you get unlimited pizza. I think you even get a salad and a drink for it too. It's great.
Well, I don't fuck around with salad. What am I? Lame?
I only like salads when I can make my own salad. And really the best salad that I like, the best salad that I've had is at Toscano's, that Brazilian barbecue place.
Dude,
that has the best salad bar ever. That place is so good.
Susie and I have a reservation at Bitter Creek.
Ale House?
Ale House, yeah. So we're going there. However, if Toscano's wasn't so jam-packed, probably, to be fair, I called up and looked into places that I knew were good, but also not probably as slammed and like popular. Like you kind of have to you gotta have to dig a little bit if you want to get something like a solid dinner time reserved. Yeah. But also not a shitty restaurant, but also like not a super popular one as well. You have to kind of
and then the whole COVID thing, toss that into the mix. It kind of complicates it even further.
Throw that in there.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, no, we got a reservation at like 8:15 or something. So the reason I'm like, wait, what was it? Is because at first I called in, the guy was like, yeah, we only have one like for like 9, and I'm like.
Send it.
I'm like, yeah, but I was like, dude, that's not gonna work because by the time because you get there and then by the time they actually get to you is not a guaranteed. Like it's gonna take a second. You get to get settled in, and then you go, and it's gonna take even longer to get your food. And we're trying to get back home at like 10:30. So I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. So I give it. I sit on it a little bit. And I'm like, nah. So I call back, and I'm like, hey, is there any chance you can just work in something at like just earlier? I mean, I just if that's okay. And made it happen. So 8:15 it is.
Good stuff.
And
I really want to go to I want to go to a hibachi again. Go to hibachi restaurant. The one that I like to go to here is Kyoto's. Oh man, that's a good spot.
Is it like what's their deal? What's their thing?
That's the one where
what's like their theme?
That's the restaurant where you sit and where you have everyone in sort of like a U shape, and there's the grill in the center, and you have the chef come down and prepare the food right in front of you. It's an Asian. I think it's a Japanese steakhouse is a particular cuisine that they serve there. It's really good. It's really fucking good.
Sounds expensive.
It is, but it's good.
Yeah, and we'll see as far as future date nights go. In terms of, like,
I'm just waiting for it to be socially acceptable. Again, I'm probably going to be waiting until probably like one of the last people to go out to do restaurants just because of a lot of social stigma around it right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, as far as news goes, we've kind of. I mean, I know. I'm sure. You know, since the Stonkcast, the famous Stonkcast, which by the way you should listen to if you haven't already, to catch up with the fellas. A lot since then. I mean, I'm sure you're you know, I'm sure you have a lot more information, but it seems like the hype train, like it's probably gone through some flows a little bit, and you know, I think. Yeah, I mean, as far as the news goes, I haven't really heard any updates. Stimulus money is still kind of in the air, so the remaining 1,400 smackaronis of the stimulus package from Joseph Biden, you know, that's still.
I think they were saying
kind of being,
mid to late March on that one. I think.
Yeah.
Last I heard, that's what is to be expected, but I wouldn't bank on it.
What's funny is when they get it in motion, they typically get that money out pretty quickly. And
well, once it's passed, it's just once, you know, it's the whole process.
Right, it's everything before, right? And of course, when I say payments go out pretty quickly, that is, if you were I guess I don't want to wording it this way isn't correct. I'd say if you happened to do your taxes online and had everything done basically in a way where you got paid direct deposit, you pretty much don't have to do anything. Unfortunately, not a lot of people, did it that way, and that's totally fine. Like, that's completely.
A lot of people still mail in their taxes, which is fine. It just takes longer because you don't have direct deposit. They have to mail you the check. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's a convenience thing, and I'm like, I'm sure maybe if I had someone do my taxes or like kind of, I guess, paid a little bit more attention instead of just filling in the blanks on QuickBooks or Intuit rather, then I'm sure I might get a little bit more money back. But for me, I'm like,
not really. For most people, something like TurboTax is actually, even though they do cut a lot out of your refund, is an okay strategy. Like, unless you're like doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like you make money on as a side hustle that's a substantial amount of your income, or you trade in the markets, unless you're doing something wild like that. For most people, just a simple like 1040 and you're done.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't really need to see a tax specialist unless you're actually unless you have really a reason. And if you don't think you have a reason to see a tax specialist, you probably don't really need to, but
yeah. For me, I definitely have to collect my W-2s from 2 different workplaces in Idaho, and that is annoying.
So you have to come here to collect them, or they're not?
No, I don't have to. That'd be really fucking annoying.
I was gonna. You just the way you phrased it, I thought you were just like, yeah. So I have to go here. The main reason why I'm going back to Idaho is I have to collect my W-2s. But I'm gonna see everybody while I'm here. But just know that is mainly because.
Hey, Susie. By the way, we'll have plenty of time to hang out, watch movies, all that good stuff. But really, the main reason I'm here is to my taxes. You're still fucked.
Oh my god.
I'd accept the axe. I'd be like, well.
That would just suck. Period. Having to come back to Idaho for just to collect some fucking tax forms. I have to wait until the 16th, I think, before I can fill mine out.
And what's really annoying is with one job, I was only in it from in Idaho in terms of tax season, because I had a job I maintained for 3.5 years roughly, but in terms of it into 2020, I was at that job from January to June or something, and then a couple months of job number 2. So I have to go to 2 different places to get my thing, and I don't have to go there, but I do have to go through those channels. and one of them called me back, and I was like, fuck. And I didn't see their call. I was just on my way home from work, so I have to call them tomorrow and be like, hey, what's my next steps? And then the other place I have to reach out and, go there. So it's been one of those adult chores where I'm like, ugh, I just fucking, like, honestly, I hate doing taxes just because it's just a thing that I have to do that I don't want to, and I'd rather, like, just not do them.
Yeah.
Oh, but you get your money back, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But, like, for me, I'm just like, I don't care.
Well, I'm like,
I probably won't have a very huge return just because the money's going to be broken up kind of weirdly. And I don't know what my return Texas-wise would look like. I
don't think you want to have to worry about Texas because you moved there. No, you moved there in August, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I'll show it on screen. No, I'm just kidding. It shows my social.
I think you'll still be okay because you were in Idaho for at least 6 months.
No, I'll be fine.
I think you're right.
Ooh, that can't be out and about.
That would be a question for a tax specialist.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
I'm a weird guy. I like doing my own taxes.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I was like, I could probably, have some help or like not figure it out, but like kind of just try something different. But I'm like, but I don't want to. Nah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I can understand people's sentiment about like not doing their taxes, because it is very difficult, and it's and at times it feels like it's kind of built that way on purpose. I think it is.
Well, I don't know about difficult, but sometimes like
it is difficult
when everything falls into place and you have like had like the same job for the whole year and like you are just a single person. Like there are definitely some scenarios where it's pretty easy, but like if you're like switching jobs or if you have like kids or if you like are married or maybe were married for one bit and then got divorced a sec, like in the middle, like they're definitely when shit like that is happening, I'm sure doing taxes is probably annoying. I wouldn't know because I haven't done any of that or been through.
And if
any
you're
of that,
self-employed, oh man, it gets way worse.
W-4 baby.
It gets way worse when you're like self-employed, and if you trade on the stock market, here's the funny thing: a lot of people aren't going to expect because of a lot of people getting onto the stock market thing because of the GameStop is they're in for a surprise coming into doing their taxes for 2021 because you have to file a whole different set of forms after that because of how much money you make or lost.
Nice.
So,
how's your game stocks holding up? Or did you trade any, sell any, or have you kind of just sat on it, or what's your status?
So, what I do is, or what I did, I should say, and this is just something I do with all these other different kinds of plays. The way that I do it is, I bought the stock, and then sold it for my initial investment. So, on a technicality, I don't have any money in the stock. I'm just sitting on it, letting it ride out. It peaked at like $500 and now it's sitting at like $60 or $50, something like that, somewhere in between there right now. And I'm not touching it. I'm just letting it play out as it is. I think as far as the market goes overall, the market's a pretty scary place right now. It's in my opinion, it's very much a bubble. Much like what we saw in 2001. Really, the market environment right now, I would say you take 2001 and 2008, and you kind of put them together, and that's kind of like the market environment that we're at right now. It's bad. So I feel bad for any investors getting into the game right now. I think they're gonna get burned pretty bad. For anyone that's doing trading, which is what I do as a job now, or at least I've moved it as my main source of income right now, I should say. It's great making money right now. It's just always having to like look behind your back now, right? And to just make sure that you're on top of it, because things are heating up and you're just kind of waiting. It's like musical chairs, and it's like you're at the last chair, right? The music's gonna stop at some point, and you have to take a seat, but it's just you're always waiting on wind.
That's the most tense game ever. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Tetherball ain't got shit.
Tetherball was easy, I thought.
Oh yeah, I sucked at tetherball. I don't know why.
All you have to do is be able to jump high enough and hit the ball hard enough, and you're golden.
Dude, I got beat by a girl that I liked. It was embarrassing.
And you're like in like 5th grade, so your crush is immediately crush was immediately wiped out. You're just like, man. I like this girl.
Her bitch. No, I'm kidding.
She like comes in, beats your ass. And you're just like, I don't like her anymore. But we're talking like early 2000s, okay? Nowadays, people would just...
Bro, that's so not woke of you to say. No. I got beat, but I would like just
child thing.
And, yeah.
It's just a child thing, yeah.
Dude, that particular school that I went to, because I grew up a little bit in Jerome, and this elementary school, I have like the most memories of like playground games. Like, it was where I played a lot of Foursquare. It was where I did terribly at tetherball.
I hardly remember Foursquare.
Dude, Foursquare?
Is that the one where you hit the ball down and you bounce it into the other person's square? Or is that okay? And if you miss,
guess what? There's 4 squares. No,
and there's 4 squares, and you can hit to any of them, right?
Yeah.
And if the other person misses, they're out, or what happens?
Jump them? Yeah. I think so.
You jump them, beat their ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first person to go out, the 3 people remaining, they just fucking. They just pile on and beat the shit out of the other kid.
Sounds right. Sounds like elementary school shit.
Sounds like fucking Foursquare Compton style. That'd be rough. Like, especially like the anxiety. I'm sure it's like you're playing. You're like, oh shit, and you get out and you just try to run, but all the other kids are in on it, so they just fucking tackle you.
You miss the ball, you immediately.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of interesting memories at that. Dude, one teacher, I may have told this story on the podcast before, but this one teacher thought, well, okay, she didn't directly say, hey, I thought you kids were dealing drugs, but here's what happened. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was with a friend, and we were off to the side, like, trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yep.
And this teacher is like, what are you guys doing? And like, we're just trading cards. She's like, it's like, well, you guys can't be doing that like that, because I don't know what you guys are doing, trading your hands like this. Like, I don't know what's going on.
You're like, I'm 10. What would I be doing, Beth?
Dude, looking back, it's like what I would say if I took current conscious and be like, what would I be doing? Drugs? But because I was like 4th grade, we didn't even know what drugs really were. Like, we heard of Dare, but we're like,
I didn't get the Dare treatment, I don't think.
Well, like,
I don't remember.
Like, I remember... don't do drugs, but I was like, what are drugs? Like, I don't know what they are.
Right.
Like, you just are like, oh,
I didn't learn about drugs until junior high, when I was a teenager.
I would say when I like learned like really like what weed was. Let's see. I'd say
I learned in 7th grade right out the gates. I just got thrust into it.
Around like. And I'm just talking like just like through pop culture and like movies, like as far as like direct experience. We won't talk about that. I'd say middle school, possibly.
Middle school.
Like there's definitely plenty of movies that my dad let us watch that had like when you look back like, oh, that's weed. But like back then I just didn't know what it was. Like I watched Harold and Kumar. Super young. I was like probably 4th or 5th grade. I think I probably knew about weed, probably between like I think 4th grade. In terms of being aware of.
I mean,
like,
we knew what we were aware that there were bad things called drugs, but we didn't know how to access them or what they really did.
Yeah, like we didn't like know like kind of like that looking like the teacher, the way she was like, I don't know what you guys are doing, and I'm like, trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What else could we possibly be doing?
Exactly. Kids don't have that comprehension of drugs yet. I don't
it literally didn't even cross my mind. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
at least for
this
us.
teacher's fucking stupid. Like, but obviously, like, as an adult,
We're still learning how to swear.
Like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just like, cursing. Man.
I picked up swearing, I think, in 5th grade. 4th or 5th grade, somewhere in there. That's where I picked it up. And then in 6th grade, I was a pro. I was a pro in swearing by 6th grade. That's easy to pick up. That's what you. That's like you go from swearing to drug usage and alcohol usage to depression, mental illness, and then after that,
and now we do a podcast.
And then you do existential. You go through. That's
the
that's the growth cycle. That's from tween to adult. Tween, teen to adult.
Tween to lean, the drug. Oh man.
At least that's how it was for me.
No, I definitely was. I was very well. I wouldn't say like lame, but I was lame by the idea of like I didn't go to parties. I had plenty of friends and stuff, but like it's funny because like I would see all these movies where like, oh yeah, man, like American Pie and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, kids going to parties and stuff, and like I was just like, ah, man, ew, people. Like I was definitely a homebody for sure in that way.
I think I was for the at least the most part.
Like I never went to any high school parties. Like I definitely had some like little get-togethers where you know have some little sippy sips. I mean, what? Like it was orange juice.
You play like you play like Twister and shit, you know, not like the crazy wild parties. Yeah, that's the kind of parties I went to too. I think for the most part, I don't think I went to like any like.
Dude, I heard some insane stories of like some kids that I like during our sophomore year. Like, we won't get into names or specifics because that could get into weird legal hair. But I knew of a kid that you may know who. Like, I get to school the next day, and I was like, well, where is so-and-so? And then he's like, yeah, he, like, tried to run away from the police, and he got attacked by the cops. And I was just like, what? That's so bizarre.
I remember hearing about his story.
I was on Xbox
like
I just remember being, like, so in such a different thinking space of, like, I just went home and, like, played Xbox, watched Sons of Anarchy with my mom, and like went to bed. Like,
and then some kids out here jumping fences from the cops and shit.
Yeah, because I'm like 15. Like, what else am I gonna be doing? Like, dude. And then I hear this story, and I'm like, what? It's like, I
kind of makes you want to have like participated in those parties, but then at the same time, you're like,
I did not. I was too scared. I kind of
wanted to be. I just wanted to be there for like the experience, not really to like.
I'm sure the excitement overall.
Not to be around the people that were there. I was just more interested in like the experience of shit going down. That's where the memories are made, right? Not the actual party itself. The parties probably fucking sucked, but it's when the shit goes down. That's when the memories are made. That's the best part.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no high school parties, but I definitely had like a few like just hangouts with friends.
Yeah.
Those were always fun.
The more wholesome ones.
Oh yeah, dude. That's when the homies like when you're really behind. You know?
It's his name again. I forget every single fucking time. He also did Die Hard. Fuck, what's his name?
Oh, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. So it's like this really crappy drawing of Bruce Willis, and it's like
I thought you said the ball guy. I was like, what?
No,
it's not Bruce. But anyway, but then he said Die Hard. I was like, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis, and. It's like this prediction of what Fast and Furious 10 would be, and then it's this crappy like paper drawing of him, of Bruce Willis. He gets into a car. There's a meteor coming, going to crash in the city. He drives off this huge ramp, jumps out of the car in space. The car runs into the meteor, blows up, and he falls back to Earth. And then it rolls the credits, and the typical fucking Fast and Furious song kicks on, and they end the credits, and then just family at the end. So that's why I fucking crack up every single time.
Oh my god! Now I think from this point moving forward, anytime we're talking and the word family is said, we just have to like stop what we're saying and just collect ourselves.
Recompose. I think I'm okay now though. I think the bug, you know how sometimes you laugh.
I don't know.
Sometimes like it's just like a small thing and you just can't stop laughing. Like your brain just goes into monkey mode and you're just
total monkey mode. Yeah.
You just completely lose control. That's what it was. That's what that was for. But no, I'm good now.
Dude, you know what the worst is though? It's like when your brain does that, but it's like totally the not appropriate time to be doing that.
like with family. God
Family
damn
gatherings.
it!
Oh my god, bring it up.
Okay,
Well,
we're halfway there,
dude.
We got 2 down for you.
The movie. So the most recent Star Wars I saw with Hazen, dude, that movie was so fucking shitty. We were like laughing at how bad it was because for me, because of how
I
low
still
I
need to
thought
watch it.
of. No, you don't.
I mean, I don't, but I also do. Just the context, you know.
Yeah, I guess that is fair. Now, I was pretty hyped for the Last Jedi, right? And then of course after I'm like, dude, this movie fucking blows.
Yeah.
And then so I was just so done with just Star Wars in general, and I was like, all right, you guys, whatever.
That's what I was like. Yeah.
So I brought my expectations so low that
You thought they couldn't go lower.
I had quite a fun time just laughing about how bad how some things played out. It's like me and Hayes were just fucking cackling like hyenas, especially when this one person up front, the opening, scene where it's like that's like the famous opening crawl.
Yeah.
This fucking person up front is just like over just that, and I'm like, you fucking dweeb. Like, don't worry. Big nerd. Like I'm very nerdy about certain things, but like something like there are certain types of nerds that are kind of just like whipped, like Star Wars stands. Like they're kind of just
stands.
They
just
can't
in general.
Just stands in general, dude. Like I just don't like it. Now we can't talk bad about K-pop stands because they'll find us. Like actually, but
I've got no fear. I've got family,
dude. Fuck! Oh my god, I'm so mad. Fuck you, Nathan.
Got it.
Oh my god. Oh, the way you said that too, you're like, I got family. Like, oh my god. You might drive me to buy Taco Bell, like how, like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says about me or like my state of emotions. But anyway, fans that are like just like they're fans, but like no matter what, even if the movie's shitty, like they can't like kind of, I don't know, just stands in general. Like they can't. I don't know. There's like a weird like kind of cultish like kind of like they're like hypnotized in a weird way. They're kind of like just. I don't know. I don't quite have
anything
the best
in
words to
abundance is too much, and favoritism in abundance is too much.
Yeah, and I know I'm using Star Wars as an example, but like just when people like a thing too much, but there's not like, I don't know, like substance, I guess. Like it feels, I don't know. Anyway, so number 2 movie, Signs.
Mm-hmm.
So aliens, and it has to do with aliens, kind of. Let's see. Well, I know the plot, but I'm trying not to say the word family.
That's what this has turned into now.
Put $1 in the family jar. Oh god.
You actually have no idea how fucking brilliant that is.
Yeah.
How much money we could save.
You go to the store, you fucking stop by a Family Dollar, you just fucking have a seizure.
Fuck, dude, Family Dollar should just make its logo Fast and Furious cars.
Oh my
Bruce Willis in the background. They should play the theme in the store 24/7.
Oh god.
Whoa!
See you again. Oh god.
Fuck.
It's funny because like I hold the first 2 movies I mentioned, I like hold them in such like high regards, like in terms of being these like very good dramas, and meanwhile we just can't fucking stop making jokes about family. It's great. But yeah, it's actually, just to try to be serious a little bit, I will say right out of the gate that it is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, and also his easily most underrated, because he's had a lot of very popular ones like Unbreakable, and I think the one that came out before it's also got Bruce Willis, funny enough.
It all comes full circle.
What the fuck is it called? It's the one where the kid's like, I see dead people.
Oh.
You know what it is, though, right? Or like you know that line, like that.
I know
famous,
the meme.
Like, yeah.
Got the beard coming back now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. The Happening was pretty bad. The Village was, sort of popular.
I kind of vaguely remember The Village. I don't know why.
Oh, The Sixth Sense. Yeah. So he did he did Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
And after that, that's kind of when he just got mega famous, like as like this kind
I
of
remember that one being huge.
odd director, like wait, what?
I remember my mom and my sister went to see that.
Guess who wrote?
Wild.
Guess what other movie he wrote? Just randomly.
Close Encounters?
Stuart Little.
What?
Yeah, he wrote Stuart Little.
Stuart fucking Little.
Yeah.
What the
he's
fuck?
one of them. He's one. Yeah, he's one of the screenplay writers for Stuart Little.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, very random. I like those movies, especially the second one. Like I remember.
I don't remember shit. I just remember a mouse.
Dude.
I just remember a mouse and a sweater. That's it.
Dude. And also Michael J. Fox as Stuart.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's the mouse. He's a voice.
But no shit. But he turned into a mouse for the movie.
Yeah,
Some people cut weight.
He's a very strong method actor, and to really sink his teeth into the role, he actually didn't eat for several weeks and lived on the streets of New York.
He transmogrified into a mouse.
He literally animorphed into a mouse, like those books from the '90s. Animorph.
He Ben 10'd himself into a fucking mouse.
And then he meets this family.
Fuck off. I almost said suck off. I'm fucking broken. My brain is broken.
We know what the
fucked me over.
Dude, we know what the
Suck
name
me
of the
over.
episode is. Dude, we know what the name of the episode is.
It's just gonna be called
now.
Family. This fucking point. Family.
Oh,
People are
God.
gonna be so confused. You're gonna have to watch all the way to the end to get to this point. I look like shit now, but fuck.
Oh, good. So anyway, the third movie. This is and I'll try to not die while I talk about this one. But anyway, this is the spot. Like the third spot is the one that fluctuates the most. Like some days I'm like, man, I really love Man of Steel because it's a Superman movie that's really action packed and kind of really makes you feel like what would happen if like if it just really happened. And everyone's like, oh, it's so violent and so chaotic. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how it would be if a fucking super alien existed and he had to fight another super alien, and also he had only been Superman for like one day, so he just anyway, so it'll be that sometimes, but then again, like I'll watch a movie like Foxcatcher, which has fucking what's his name, the guy that he's in The Office, Michael Scott, what's his name, Steve Carell. He does this whole he does this whole transformation, becomes basically a different person altogether to play this really creepy old rich guy, and they fund this wrestling team, and at this and it's a true story, by the way, and at the time, American wrestling had no money. There's no money, and this guy, John DuPont, has, inherited, he's the next heir to the family fortune of his family, and he's just like, you know what, I want to, fund, this wrestling team, basically. So he gets all these wrestlers from around the country to basically just team up, and and they go from having nothing to having access to so much money, better equipment,
Right.
like all these facilities. But then the story goes, like what happens, because again, it's all happened in real life. This John DuPont guy, like he was like he had like serious mental issues, and one day, and again, like there's definitely a lot more to it. And if you want to learn about the actual story before watching the movie, I would go on Netflix and go watch Team Foxcatcher. It's definitely one of the best crime documentaries of the year so far. I think it came out this year. And I definitely check that out. People were all the jazz about the Ted Bundy one from last year, but this one is it's a particular crime documentary that not a lot of people are aware of, but so I'd check that out. But anyway, Channing Tatum is in it, and he plays the main wrestler, and it's easily, without a doubt, Channing Tatum's best performance as an actor. And he's been in a couple decent movies, but like this one,
Better than Magic Mike.
Yeah, I actually hadn't seen Magic Mike, but I think it's, from what I've seen, it looks good. Like it looks like obviously there's like a lot of lot of buff shirtless men, but I hear the movie's actually pretty good. I haven't seen it. I might watch it. Who knows?
I've heard mixed reviews about it. Probably watch it just for the meme. That's what we gotta do. Get the boys together.
Dude, let's watch Magic Mike.
You gotta get the family together to watch Magic Mike.
Fuck. I'm gonna die. God damn it. So anyway, for me, Channing Tatum's best movie. Mark Ruffalo's in it. He plays Dave Schultz, and Dave Schultz is, so they're the Schultz brothers, and they're very well known, and they're very legendary in the wrestling community. And this fucking John DuPont guy is, over time, like as the movie goes along, becomes just more paranoid, more he's kind of schizophrenic, and he thinks that Dave Schultz is like kind of behind his back doing things, and like spying on him, like just wacky shit. And then he fucking pulls up to his house one day, and while he's just working on his car or something, he's like,
claps him.
What? Fucking claps him, shoots him, dude.
Jeez.
Fucking shoots him, like murders him. And there's a standoff at the guy's house. He goes back to his like bunker basically, and you have a standoff for a couple days. But yeah, it's a wild story, and but the movie itself, when you're watching it, it like really sucks you in because of how like it's, when you're watching the movie, it's like very still, like it's very quiet. There's not like a lot of crazy music like with Signs. The music in that movie is great. It's one of my favorite music soundtracks like ever. And in this movie, it's like just deadpan silent. Like you feel like a little dead inside watching it, because you're just like the gravity of like how depressing it is that these wrestlers have no options, and they get kind of sucked in to this world of like, now they have all the options, but the price, is wrong, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's kind of the current number 3. But if you ask me in a couple months, I might have something else, because that's the one that fluctuates the most, that third spot. Yeah. Well, I think that about does it. I don't know if this is the record record podcast. Oh, it is?
It is. Definitely
nice.
Is. I think we're at an hour and a half almost.
Yeah. Hour 35.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if you have not noticed, and I hope you made it all the way through, especially the last fucking 30 minutes of our shenanigans.
Fuck.
We definitely appreciate you listening to our rambling nonsense. Hopefully, you were entertained by the memes. And if you haven't seen it, again, you can see our social media handles in the video. And also, if you're listening on audio only, go ahead and hop over to YouTube right now and just look up the Snoozecast. Snoozecast is one word. And throw us a subscribe. Throw us a bone. Give us a like. Just help us out
subscribe,
any
share.
way you can. All that good stuff. Any final thoughts from you, young Nathan?
No, I think we're hockey pucking out here. I don't know. That was a weird
Weird sign off.
Weird sign. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's it for me as well. Once again, you're listening to this newscast, and it's all about family.
Fuck off. We out. We out. We're fucking out. Can't handle it. Can't